Yes, Bubbles, I just clapped. It's going to be okay. Welcome to Thursday's solo episode. I am tired. Okay? The first thing I'm going to talk about is cycle stuff. Just going to jump right in. It has been the worst week and a half with regard to cycle stuff. And I have been all over Pinterest looking into like the different phases of each cycle and what that means and what symptoms are and what your hormones are doing, because clearly something is off. So, okay, let's just start from the beginning. I was on birth control till like from the time I was 16 until I started trying for Milo, which was like, I don't know, age 31 or something. So then stopped birth control, had Milo. Now he's 4. So I was 34 when I had him because we didn't get pregnant for a while. Now I'm going to be turning 38 in March, which is crazy. And he's 4 years old, but like my periods have just been like getting heavier and I'm noticing more and more just shitty things happening. And I didn't start to piece together that it was related to my cycle. But when I was meeting with my naturopath one day about digestion things, she was like, oh, and like, how's your sleep? And just asking me different things. And I was like, never really took time to like sit and think about it. But I was like, you know what? Now that I think about it, about once a month, there's like a span of 3 or 4 nights where I don't sleep. Like I'll fall asleep. And then I wake up in the middle of the night, can't fall back asleep. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start paying attention to when that happens and see if it's, and she told me, she was like, I bet you it's before, like the week before your period starts. And I was like, okay, I'm going to wait and see. Sure enough, that's exactly when it happens. So I got this fancy little Apple Watch. My husband gave me his Apple Watch that I bought him last Christmas because he doesn't use any of the features. So I was like, I want to use it because I get heart palpitations like every once in a while. So I wanted to track that, like just like your heart rhythm, and it can do like the ECG thing, because I have gone through all the testing at like the place where they like hook you up and they like monitor your heart. I've worn the heart monitor for like 24 hours. I've done all the things. And of course, it never happens when I have those things attached to me, because it happens like every once in a while. So what are the chances they're going to catch it, you know? So I was like, I want to have the Apple Watch with the ECG function so that when I feel it, like usually when it happens, it's like on and off for like a half hour or something. So I can just like run the ECG and see if it like picks anything weird up. So anyways, but also you can track your cycle. And then because I started Pilates, I wanted to track like exercise and stuff like that. Been really disappointed. I've only been wearing it for a couple days, but like I am not taking enough steps. You're supposed to have 10,000 steps in a day. I literally have averaged since I started wearing it 1,600 steps. That is pathetic and I'm upset. So I almost want to get like a walking desk with like the raised up desk so you could be walking while you're working. Anyways, you can also track your sleep, but then everyone was like, you have to charge it overnight. So you technically can't track your sleep, because I wanted to track my sleep as well, but didn't have to track it the last week and a half because this has been the absolute worst week before my period ever. Like not sleeping. And usually what would happen is I fall asleep, no problem, but then I wake up in the middle of the night and can't fall back asleep. This has just been like full blown, you're not sleeping ever. So for a few nights, I took Gravol, which usually that would work like right away, but it almost like barely worked. It still took like hours for me to fall asleep. And then you feel groggy the next morning. So I don't even like doing that. It's also it's not good for you, like for your liver or whatever. Not sleeping, me, the person who's always constipated, all of a sudden having like diarrhea all the time. And of course I look it up and it's like, oh yeah, you could have digestion issues like diarrhea the week before your period. And I'm like, yes, that is what's happening. So that has been happening. Not sleeping, the worst, like irritable, moody. I don't know if you saw my stories when I was trying to get ready for the baby shower that I went to on Sunday, but I was literally almost in tears. Why, Renee? Like, you're just having to get dressed and to go to a baby shower. Like, it ended up being amazing and awesome and totally fine. But like, I was almost in tears. I was like, I just want to stay home and like hide under my covers. And my husband was like, okay, that's a little bit dramatic. And I was like, I know, like, what is wrong with me? And then, oh my God, I didn't even have this on my notes, but this is what I wanted to say. And I meant to post on Instagram that I was going to talk about this. So, when you just have that feeling that like you're going to cry, like, I know I'm going to cry and I need to cry. So I was having that the whole morning before, like, as I was trying to get ready to go to the baby shower, and I could just feel it. I was like, oh my God, like, I'm going to have to cry today at some point. Like, I just know it's coming. And so I go to the baby shower, everything's fine. It was like really nice to meet everybody and it was great. So I was the only one who was kind of like, not an outsider, but like they all know each other. Like, they're a group of friends, and I was the one that I only knew the person having the baby. And not anybody else. They knew me because of social media. So it was kind of like, it's strange, but it's also cool because like they kind of know who I am. But anyway, so they're like talking about, the past little while, like times that they've hung out and like funny stories and like their husbands hang out. And I was just like, it was in the moment, I didn't think anything of it. And I was just like, haha, like hearing stories, and it was funny. But then, of course, because I'm in this mood where like I just need to cry and be sad about something, on the drive home, which was like an hour drive home, I'm like tearing up, like tears coming down my face because I'm like, I don't have friends. Like, it sounds so nice. Like, a lot of them have kids and they hang out together and like plan things, and they all live like within 15 minutes of each other. And I was like, that is so awesome. Like, I wish that I had that. We literally have no friends. Like, it made me so upset. And I was like, what? Like, life would be so different if we had people nearby where it was just like, oh, hey, like, oh, we like ordered pizza tonight. You guys want to come over and eat? Or like, oh, like the kids are going to watch a Disney movie. Like, you guys want to come over and have a beer? Like, how different would life be? Like, my husband and I are literally just on our own, like all the time, and like busy. So on our own all the time, and every day is just the same thing. I drop off Milo, I go to Pilates, I come home, I work. Milo comes home from school, we do dinner, we like play games, we do whatever, bath time, bedtime, like da 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 da. Weekend, like, okay, we'll have plans on weekends, whatever, but like day in and day out is just like the same thing over and over. There's no like sense of community, there's no friends, there's no nothing. It's just us, and that's it. And my husband gets called into work all the time, so then it's just me. And I was like, that must be so lovely to just have like a group of friends, which is what it was when I was in university. Like, I literally lived in the same apartment building as one of my best friends was 2 floors down. Like, anyways, it just sucks. And I was like, okay, like, I have a problem. I don't know. I need to find friends. But anyways, that was back to the original point, is that I was crazy, like moody, like upset, like sad, all the things. So I have been looking into like tracking cycles, looking into like the different phases and what's actually happening to your body in those phases, and like how you can live according to your cycle or like plan things out. So for me, like, I make my own schedule. I shouldn't be like booking a ton of recordings or like things like that when I'm the week before my period and maybe even the week of my period, because I am just like, I want to hide under the covers and read a book and do like quiet things like writing and like thinking and planning and stuff like that. Whereas the other 2 weeks of my cycle, I am like bing, 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 like super productive, like going wild. So if you can plan your days, even like the kinds of workouts that you're doing or, around your cycle, it would be much more like beneficial to everyone. So I screenshotted this thing that I found from Pinterest just to kind of like give an idea. Because once I started looking into the different phases of the cycle and like how you usually feel in that phase and then things like that you should be doing or like focusing on in that phase and like versus other stuff, I was like, oh my God, this is me to a T. So the menstrual phase, so your cycle starts on the first day that you get your period. So for me, that was yesterday. So I'm on day 2 right now. So I'm in the menstrual phase. So this lasts about 1 to 5 days. So your estrogen levels rise slightly. Progesterone levels dip, which can leave you feeling low energy, but reflective. Okay. So again, reflective. Maybe I should be focusing on writing a book for those 2 weeks of my cycle, like menstrual, and the next one is follicular. Okay, so menstrual cycle productivity, analytical tasks, a great time for solo projects. So proofreading, reviewing, like assessing, goal setting, writing, like all those kinds of things. Okay. Nailed it. Because do I feel like doing interviews when I'm in this phase? Not at all. Once I'm in them, I am like, hey, how's it going? But like I don't want to do it. It's really weird. Follicular phase, which I can't say follicular without thinking of when I lived in Italy for 3 months. The little like tram thing that takes you up a mountain. It's called a funiculare, or like, what was it? Anyways, whatever. It sounds like that word. Usually days 6 to 10. So this is the phase before you would ovulate. So the hypothalamus releases FSH. I don't even know what that is. Estrogen and progesterone levels rise. So your energy and your motivation are rising during this phase. So it says, do focused work, creative work, make TikToks, make reels, whatever, or learning, take a course, like learn how to edit videos better, whatever. A great time for research, online courses, or writing. Perfect. Ovulation phase. Estrogen and testosterone levels peak in this phase, making you feel very social and confident. There you go. Book all your recordings in this phase. Engage in group work, attend conferences, networking, interviews, have hard conversations. Okay. Then the last phase is luteal phase. So if you're not pregnant, your progesterone will rapidly decrease, making you feel sluggish and possibly depressed. So this is the week before you get your period. This is my not good week. So like, don't fucking book anything, not appointments, not interviews, not anything. Warn your husband. So avoid new projects or big launches. Focus on mundane or repetitive tasks like organizing and, and I find myself wanting to do that. Like I move away from doing work stuff and I'm like, oh, I'm going to organize this cupboard or like start cleaning, like detailed cleaning or organize my office. Like if I look at what they say you want to do during these phases, like what best suits you, it's me to a T. Like I can't even. But I never realized it, so I'm not thinking in terms of like, Renee, don't schedule these like big, massive things during these couple weeks because you're just going to want to hide under your desk and organize drawers, So It's fascinating to me. And so I'm learning more about it. Obviously, I want to have someone on the podcast literally just talk about our cycle and how we can like best live our life based on where we are in our cycle. So I'm fascinated. So stay tuned for more of that stuff. I just want to say, like, this has been the absolute worst. There's a hormone clinic in Oakville, which is like an hour from me, that does all hormones. It's run by an OBGYN who just like specializes in hormone health. I want to go there and be like, I want to have my hormones tested throughout my cycle, see if my hormones are like out of whack the week before my period. And that's why I'm like so negatively affected. Cause like, who wants to live like this 1 week out of every single month, 2 weeks? So like, I have really painful ovulation. So there's 24 hours of pain. Then I have a week of being irritable and moody and low mood, low energy. And then I have another week of bleeding from my crotch, feeling crampy and fatigued. Woohoo! Like, let's live life. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, moving on. One of the biggest things I had to talk about today was why... Okay, we're at 16 minutes. So why did I need a passport so quickly? Like, whose passport was it? Like, what are you guys doing? Okay, I'm gonna take a drink. This water bottle, by the way, is Lululemon. Everybody's freaking out. I'll tag it or link it on Instagram soon. So just like calm down, everybody. The reason I got this water bottle is because I was always using the like the tumblers that you can't just throw in your purse because they'll leak. Like, they weren't secure lids with like leak proof, lids. You couldn't like dump it over or like tip it over upside down. So I was like, I need something, because your hands are always full, especially when you have a child and you're trying to get out the door. I'm always like carrying his backpack, my big purse, like my coffee, my water. And so I was like, I need a water bottle that I can just throw in my bag. So this one is like totally like leak proof. You just screw on the top. And I love this little tab that you can carry it from. So anywho, that's that. Next thing. Oh yes, passport. Oh my God. So you guys know that my Memere is obsessed with Harry Styles. Like, this is a well-known fact. So over Christmas, when I was at my parents' place, and my Memere lives right next to my parents, I was like, guys, like, can we get her to a Harry Styles concert? Like, my Memere loves going to concerts. She's like me. Like, she goes to see everybody. She loves concerts. I was like, how amazing would it be if we could take her to a Harry Styles concert? So I had already looked into where the fuck in the world Harry Styles was. I knew he was on tour. So I look it up, and he only had 3 concerts that he had rescheduled. So I think they were supposed to happen in 2021, but he got sick because that's when he was on his American like leg of his tour, which is like a massive fucking tour. He had to reschedule these 3 dates in California because he was sick. So they got pushed to January 2023. So at the end of this month, he has 3 shows in LA. And I was like, okay, those are the shows that would make the most sense. It's like really short notice, but that makes the most sense. Otherwise, he's like in Europe, like all over, like Europe, Australia, like those are not going to work. However, I didn't like completely scratch that off the list, because I was like, if we can't make LA work for whatever reason, because it's not enough time to plan, or we run into issues, whatever, then worst case scenario, like we could take a vacation in the summer and go to like Barcelona or Amsterdam, and just like make a trip out of it. So that was my thought, because I am very much of like the thinking, like, if this is your dream and this is like so incredible, like make it happen somehow. And of course, it's going to cost some money. But I was like, if we have the family behind this adventure to get her to freaking Harry Styles, because that's what we heard about all through the holidays, was like how fucking amazing Harry Styles is. Let's get her to a concert. Like, let's do it. So I look into getting tickets in LA. Now, obviously, those tickets were sold out the second they came out, and then they were rescheduled to 2023. So there are no tickets available. Like, that's a given. So I knew we were going to have to buy them at resale, which is hit or miss and extremely expensive. So I go on all these like websites like StubHub, whatever. And I'm looking at all the different ticket options and I'm like, oh my God. So the way the concert's set up, like the whole ground or like the floor of the stadium is standing room only. Like, I'm 37. I don't even want to fucking stand for an entire Harry Styles concert and get like pushed around and be super close, like smushed with people. Like, no, thank you. So the next best option is the 100 level. And something else about me is that I need decent seats or I just won't go. It's not worth it for me to pay like half the price and sit way far away. For me, it's like, I would just rather not go then if I can't have like really good seats. So I look at tickets in the 100 level and I found some that were like, the prices were banana sandwich. But I finally found one that wasn't like as much as all the others. So it's in the 100 level and it's like 4 rows from the front row in the 100 level. So I was like, that's like really good. So each ticket was like $1,200. Yes, I know, it is fucking insane. American. So that's like $500,000 Canadian. So I'm like, okay, 2 tickets. When you like convert it to Canadian and add taxes and like, oh my God, the fucking like these websites, it's like, this is the price of the ticket, but here's the service fees and the this fee. It's like, oh my God, it's like double the price. So it ended up being $3,300 Canadian for 2 tickets. This is not our flight. This is not our hotel. This is not our food. But I was like, this is happening. Like, this is going to happen. So once I got the green light from the rest of the family to book stuff, I got the tickets right away. Now I had tickets and I'm like, okay, like I'm going to look into flights and all that stuff. So my grandpa, he is asking my Memere where the passports are. And because he's like, we were going to go to Florida in November. Like I knew that we had the passports because we had them out. So like, where's the passports? Like, oh, I need to look into something, whatever. He's like trying to make up a lie. And my Memere's like getting a little bit stressed out. She's there because they're looking for the passports and they can't find them. And she's like, why? Like, why do you need the passports so badly? And so eventually, like, they started getting like flustered and stressed out because they can't find the fucking passports. And I'm like, are you shitting me right now? Like, I have over $3,000 worth of Harry Styles tickets and you can't find your passports. Like, is this a joke? So anyways, I guess in the one of the mornings they were like looking, like they tore the house apart looking for the passports, could not find them. And my Memere like clued in all of a sudden and she like sat up on the couch and she was like, if this has anything to do with Harry Styles concert, somebody's gonna fucking die. And I was like, oh my God, because she can't find the passport. So like, this is like how, like this should be a movie. So they finally tell her like what's going on. And I was like, oh my God. So they go to the passport office in Sudbury, like, like first mistake. They're like, oh, come back on Monday morning and we'll see like what we can do for you. Meanwhile, we only have like 10 business days before we have to leave to go to LA. So we book the flights anyways, because you don't need your actual passport number to book the flights. So we book the flights. Worst case scenario, we will cancel the flights, get refunded, and I'll try and sell my Harry Styles ticket, or I'm going to fucking go with my husband. Like, I don't know. So They go to the Sudbury passport office. Obviously, they're like, oh, we can't guarantee it that quickly, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I could have fucking told you that, okay? So they drive to Toronto, stay with us, go the next morning. They have all their paperwork, like, went through like ridiculous hoops to gather all the information that they needed to like renew the passport, let them know that they lost the passport. Like, it's this big to do. So they go to the passport office in Toronto, wait in line with all their documents like ready to go. She got her pictures taken. And when they go up to the counter, doesn't my grandpa spill his fucking coffee all over the application? My Memere starts crying in the passport office, and they like wipe the coffee off, like they dry it off, and it ended up being fine. And they took the application anyways. And they were like, the quickest we can get your passport is by next Tuesday, which ta-da is today, the day that I'm recording this. So I just went and picked up the fucking passport. So we have got passports, we have flights, we have a hotel, and we are supposed to leave to fly to LA next Tuesday or Wednesday? Next Tuesday, I think, the 24th. We fly to LA. I'm going to get a car service to pick us up at the airport, because if you've ever been to LAX and you try and take an Uber, it's like LAX is like its own little city. You have to like find the bus stop, get on this bus, go to a different location, find an Uber. And it's like, when I'm traveling with my grandma, like I don't want to have to deal with that. So I'm going to try and book a car service to just like pick us up as soon as we get off. We're only taking carry-ons because we don't want to deal with the headache of luggage. We're only staying there for 3 nights. Go to our hotel. I booked us a hotel in Santa Monica because where the stadium is just like in like a random like urban area, not much around. So I was like, I'll go to the closest, nice area, Santa Monica. We can walk along the ocean, go to restaurants, shops, whatever. Booked us a hotel there. We will Uber to the concert, go fucking see Harry Styles, and fly back home the next day. So that is why I've been stressed about passports. Oh my God. So anyways, my Memere is like losing her damn mind. Like, so it just so happens that the girl that she was standing next to at the passport office is a huge Harry Styles fan. And so when she was like, oh, why do you guys need your passport like rush? She was like, oh, I'm going to Harry Styles in LA. And this girl was like, no way. So she was like, oh, what are you going to wear? Because apparently it's like this whole thing that you have to wear like Harry Styles related things. It's like going to an Elton John concert. So I'm getting us like, I have these heart-shaped glasses, these like big beaded necklaces. We have to get like boas, like the feather boas, which I'm going to just get from Amazon in the US and just have it delivered to our hotel. Like funky like pants, and I'll probably get like a Harry Styles t-shirt or something. But anyways, this is what we've been trying to do in the last little while. So stay tuned for that. Like, how fun will that content be? Like going to LA with my grandma to a Harry Styles freaking concert. So stay tuned for that. I'm very excited. Okay, there's some other things that I wanted to talk about, but just based on time, I will save it for another day. This is why I need more solo episodes, but I'm still trying to figure it out, guys. Instagram now has video reply options, like, dream come true. I can't wait. I'm going to actually do one as soon as I finish recording this, because now I see comments and I want to address them, and now I can. And I love it so much. So that's exciting. But other than that, I hope everybody's been having a good week, better than mine, and that they're actually sleeping a little bit. Yeah. So that's that on that. I'm going to go lay down right now. Actually, I'm probably going to do a little bit of work. Need to have a healthy lunch, and chill. Start packing for Harry Styles. Oh. Are you done, Bubbles? Bubbles is like tap dancing around the fucking room now. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. I can't believe I even got this done, because I'm just like a shell of a human walking zombie. So Love you guys so much. And I will talk to you next week. All right. Bye. And I hope your children sleep tonight, but also you. Okay. I hope you sleep tonight. That's the most important. If my child was in his room, not really sleeping, but he's not bothering me and I'm able to sleep, like that's what really matters because it's the kind of person I am. Okay. Bye.